Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at a very sad story, unfortunately. A story of a guy who killed his sister over a dispute involving like television time slash Fortnite. I don't know, that's kind of what it's being really kind of brought up as, like people are talking about this as if like it was some sort of like video game dispute or something, but I've made videos here on the channel a lot talking about situations where, video games are kind of lumped into these kind of like violent incidents and whatnot, right? Because unfortunately, it's situations like this, I feel like, that really kind of like make people, I feel like cherry pick what's going on in these stories, and then they use that as an excuse to like blame video games or like make it out like it was his addiction to gaming or something. I just don't think that's necessarily the case in this situation. I just think that realistically, this is a story of somebody who was pretty much just destined to do something this horrible. I mean, when we read into this, I think you'll understand what I'm saying more, but this dude was a complete lunatic. Like, there's just no doubt about it. This guy is a psychopath. A family is mourning the loss of a 21-year-old woman murdered over the weekend. Loved ones say her brother pulled the trigger. Family and friends held a vigil Monday night in honor of Amaya Stanley. Cincinnati police found her shot multiple times inside her cousin's home late Friday night. Stanley's family told WCPO her brother, 22-year-old Myshawn Stanley, killed her because he wanted to play the video game Fortnite and she wanted to watch TV. Quote, "He's very violent and aggressive, so he jumped on her, wrestling with her." Her aunt Tasha Lett said, quote, "She got away. She was going up the steps. She got 3 steps from the top to go to my cousin's to get away from him. She didn't realize he had a gun. He shot her. She turned away." Lett said Myshawn shot his sister another 6 times before walking out of the home. She was still alive when officers arrived, but died not long after. Quote, "She was the only one who protected him. She was the only one who stood up for him, helped him, tried to make sure he had a roof over his head. So to think that he would do something like this, you can't wrap your head around it," said Alicia Stanley. So, alright, I know I just kind of dumped like a lot of information on you guys here, but we're gonna go ahead and start breaking this story down. Now, obviously, one of the like headlines of this article was, "Oh, he killed his sister because he wanted to play Fortnite." You know what I mean? And like I've looked at other articles involving this story and they seem to like also focus in pretty heavily on the fact that he killed her over the fucking video game Fortnite. I don't know, but I just want to clarify early in this video that this is not a video game's fault. This is not a television's fault. You know what I mean? This is not something that needs to be framed like that. And I don't want people's takeaway from a situation like this to be, "Oh, look at these violent video games. Look at what they're doing to people." Or, "Oh, look at what video game addiction's doing to people. Look at what video games cause these gamers to do." You know what I mean? Like, it's unfortunate because there's a lot of situations that happen like this where that's people's immediate thought. They just blame it on video games instead of the person who does the unthinkable act of murdering his sister in cold blood over a dispute on television time, right? Like, I guess he wanted to play like Fortnite and she wanted to watch Netflix or something. I don't know. And apparently to this dude, that was just like an like you just couldn't fix that. It was just irreconcilable or whatever, right? Like, it just could not be fucking fixed. You couldn't talk it out, you know what I mean? You can't just have 2 different monitors or TVs or whatever to watch shit on. I don't know, right? I guess he wanted to play video games at the same place she wanted to watch her shit, and they got into an argument. And apparently for this dude, it was worthy enough of him shooting his sister 7 times and killing her. He initially shot her, and then he goes up to her and shoots her 6 more times. Like, dude, you hear that kind of story, and this is not somebody who just like, oh, I don't know, wanted to play some video games and like couldn't play them, so he just got so mad that he couldn't be a little gamer for the day and he went and hurt his sister. Like, that's not what happened here. This guy is a cold-blooded murderer. You know what I mean? Like, dude, to shoot someone 7 times, like, you shoot someone, they turn away, like, I'm assuming because you fucking shot them, and then you go up to them and shoot them another 6 times and then just walk out the house like nothing happened. That is not the actions of somebody who is sane. You know what I mean? That is not a mentally stable or normal person, bro. And that is not somebody who just got pushed too far by the video games or anything, man. This is somebody who had this in him for however long, and over something completely fucking stupid that just got him to this point, I guess, he was able to do something so cold-blooded, I just want to clarify that point before we even go any further here, because what we're about to take a look at next really kind of confirms what I'm saying, I feel like, It's a nightmare for loved ones. They said they knew of Myshawn's violent tendencies and that he had attacked his other sister in the past. Quote, "Deep down, I always knew Myshawn would hurt somebody because he was always so angry, but I never never thought he'd take Miss B away from us," Stanley's Aunt Dina Michi said. Stanley's grandmother, Misty Wood, said Maishan had even threatened Stanley prior to Friday's incident. Quote, "He kept saying to me he was gonna kill her," Wood said. Quote, "If he gets the death penalty, that's what he should get." Like others in her family, Michi said she feels as if she lost 2 loved ones in one day. Quote, "I lost a niece and I lost a nephew because he'll hopefully be in prison for the rest of his life and probably in hell," she said. "God will not forgive him for that." Now, I just want to point out, right, like, I can't remember many, if any, situations, right, where multiple people in a family have been able to, like, notice, like, hey, this guy's gonna fucking violently hurt somebody. He's threatening to kill somebody, you know what I mean? Like, most people's families, like, think of them, I would imagine, as like decent people, you know, like, oh, he's a smart kid, he's a great kid, you know, he's good at whatever, you know, chess or whatever he fucking does. I don't know, man. Like, there's usually, like, your family are the people who say great things about you and build your character up, but like, because this guy has a clear history and tendency for violent behavior, his family knew of the warning signs, like, they knew the red flags. I mean, I know that some people might blame the family here, right? You know, they'll say, oh, they should have done something about this earlier, they should have gotten more involved earlier. I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they knew if he was serious. I don't know, man. Like, the fact, though, that he had attacked his other sister in the past is like a clear indicator. Like, this guy does not respect people, you know what I mean? Like, bro is going out of his way to attack women in his family, and you think, like, this is a sane, rational human being who's, like, reasoned? No, absolutely not. This is a violent fucking lunatic. And the fact that he killed this girl because he wanted to play Fortnite should not be the main focus, in my personal opinion. My personal way of thinking is, what really needs to be focused on here is this guy and this situation in general is a clear example of a massive problem that we have in modern American society. Here in our country, we do not take the warning signs and the red flags and the pre-issues that people have seriously enough. Growing up, you know, like, I don't know, man, like, this might sound weird. There's always that kid in the neighborhood that, like, fucking kills animals, you know what I mean? There's always that one fucking weirdo in the neighborhood who does some weird stuff, you know? Strangling cats, like, odd stuff. I know that sounds screwed up and whatnot, man, but like, or they're like beating people up and like they got clear problems, man. Like, there's always somebody like that, and like, you can see the warning signs in it early. But here in the United States, like, people see people act like that and they just go, oh, boys will be boys, or oh, kids will be kids. They don't even pay attention, like, to the fact that their children are disturbed and like have issues, and then they grow up with, you know, no mental health treatment or normalization. They get hit in the head with real life or whatever in transitory periods of their life, and then they're just completely fucking screwed and they don't know how to behave because they have massive untreated mental health issues. And like, in this instance, this kid had warning signs. Like, he had been violent in the past, he'd attacked people in the past. He should have been in anger management classes or something, right? Like therapy or something. There should have been more done, or more apparently done, at least, to try and make sure that this kid was put on a different path in life. Because if he was just constantly, you know, allowed to behave this way or whatever, and he, like, was showing these warning signs with no sort of, like, you know, repercussions or anything, all I feel like it did was enforce that type of behavior even more, and then now, you know, someone's dead because of it. And that's the unfortunate circumstance here. Like, someone's life was cut short in this instance over, you know, untreated issues. Like, this kid, I shouldn't call him a kid because he's 22, but like, this dude, obviously, right, had shown these histories or whatever of doing this type of shit. People should have been more involved, man. Like, something should have been done. And if something was done, who knows if it would have saved this young girl's life, you know what I mean? But here in the United States, right, like, people don't pay attention to this shit. Like, they don't care. We're not adequately treating mental health and, you know, giving people opportunities outside of just being fucking stupid to behave, right? Like, then we sit around and wonder why we have so much gun violence and other issues like this in our country. The family described Stanley as a bright, vibrant, and determined person who had dreams to become a hairstylist for abused women and children after she graduated. Quote, "She was so happy," Michi said. Quote, "She was determined to prove to us, to everybody, that I can do it." The family has created a GoFundMe to help with Stanley's funeral expenses. They hope to reach a goal of $3,000. On Saturday, the Cincinnati Police Homicide Unit worked with the Coleraine Township Police Department and the Hamilton County SWAT team to arrest Maishan Stanley on an open warrant. He appeared in Hamilton County Court Monday. His bond is set for $500,000. So ultimately, this dude ended up getting arrested by the SWAT team and whatnot. They went and got his ass over this entire thing, and he's definitely gonna face charges. I mean, he didn't even try to cover up anything he did or anything. Like, the evidence is all there, I guarantee it. You know what I mean? Like, the way this whole story sounds, like, they're gonna get his ass. It's over with. Like, he's probably convicted already, like, whether he knows it or not, which ultimately will likely lead to the end of his life. Now, here in Ohio, we do have the death penalty. it takes forever for them to actually execute people, and I don't think they really add that many people to it, to be honest with you. This is a little bit different of a circumstance. I mean, this guy brutally murdered his sister in cold blood with absolutely no remorse whatsoever, and had a history of violent tendencies in the past, and is probably unlikely at this point to be really rehabilitated. They may give him the death penalty. I don't really know. I'm not a fucking lawyer or anything like that. But if he doesn't get the death penalty, there's a pretty decent chance he's going to be spending pretty much his whole life in jail. I mean, if he doesn't outright get life, he's gonna get 25 to life or something. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, it's over for this dude. I mean, it's over with. He threw his entire fucking life away, and ultimately his sister's entire life away, over a dispute that realistically could have been settled with like a 7-second conversation. And you know, it's unfortunate to see situations like this because, like I said, here in America, you know, I feel like we turned the other way too much, and we allow people that we know who clearly have these type of tendencies to just get away with it, and we reinforce it, and we don't, you know, adequately do anything to fix these behaviors in people. And then we sit around and scratch our heads after it's all said and done, like, well, why the fuck did he kill his sister? Yeah, because nobody's done anything to try and solve the issue beforehand when the red flags were clearly there. And ultimately, I don't want to put too much blame on the family because they are the victims here too. Like, they did lose people in their family. This is a tragic situation, and you know, hindsight's always 20/20, man. Like, it's comfortable for me to sit here on a YouTube video and say what they should and shouldn't have done, but I'm not in that situation, so you know, who knows? Like, it really could have went so many different ways though, and that's what's sad about this. 2 lives are now completely ended over a simple dispute, and unfortunately, the main actual issue that has led to this situation will likely be on the back burner for a narrative that, oh, it happened over a video game, you know? It's just insane, man. With that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about this tragic situation and signing out.